It is Wednesday, June 18th, 2025. Welcome to another edition of Baseball Today. I got my co-host, one of my favorites here, Dalton Feely, filling in for C Rose, who's still, I don't know what he's doing in Europe, but it doesn't matter because we got Dalton here. Love you as baby. I appreciate you coming on. Producer Dan, obviously here, and intern Sawyer along for the ride as well. Dalt, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
I mean, I'm feeling great. Anytime with you and producer Dan Rourke, man, talking some ball and baseball today. Gotta love it. Maybe not my snakes, but outside of that, life's been good, man.
I love it. You're a ball knower, no doubt about that. I do want the people to know that we are recording this on the evening of Tuesday, the 17th. So if something might happen in these West Coast games, we're really sorry. Got a really busy schedule. We're trying to get this content out to you guys as best as possible. This is what we got to do. And as we do every show, we start out with a tip of the cap. And this one's kind of funny. It involves my Twins and Reds. We had Byron Buxton go up and rob a home run in the same game that he also hit a home run. Check this out right here. Buck goes back. Like, he's so dynamic, dude. There ain't nothing better than Byron Buxton on the field playing great. In the same game, though, our guy, Jake Fraley, who's been making some really good catches out there in the outfield in Cincinnati. This one does not go his way. It's kind of reminiscent of little Jose Canseco. Harrison Bader's very happy there. The Reds ended up winning this game. Jake Fraley ended up scoring the tying run. McLean right behind him on a double. They ended up winning by 1 run. Emilio Pagan, former Twin, ends up closing it out. So I guess in the end, Fraley got the last laugh. Hondal?
I mean, he got the last laugh, but it's not like a ha-ha. It's like kind of a sad laugh. At least your team won. A W is a W. But Byron Buxton, just an athletic freak. No better feeling than not only robbing a home run, than hitting a home run in the same game. That's pretty darn cool. Take away a run, add a run for the Twins.
And still get the L. My Twins are reeling right now. We're dealing with injuries. Okay, people, just cut us a little bit of slack. I believe back to 500 right now, which is not exactly where the Twins want to be. But let's move on from that. Let's go to the gift that keeps on giving. And this is the Rafael Devers San Francisco Giants debut. Just more and more quotes have come out. He had his introductory press conference with the Giants today. And one of the first things he said was, I'm here. I'll do whatever they need me to do. I'll take ground balls at first. I'm here to just be a player. Dalt, we really haven't had your reaction to this, but you saw Devers in a Giants uni. They're playing in the game as we're recording this right now. He did hit an RBI double in the new San Francisco Giant City Connects. The one thing that I really found funny about this, and then I want to get your take on it, is David Ortiz comes out. Obviously, he works for the Red Sox, so he did have their back. Said that Devers did not text him back. Bad communication between the two. And one of the first things I saw was Devers and Barry Bonds talking shop behind the cage on the field. And I guess if you're going to big league a Hall of Famer like David Ortiz, you better have someone in the pocket like Barry Bonds.
They got Rafael Devers goes from one of the best natural hitters of all time at the designated hitter position to the home run king. I mean, how can you get an upgrade from Big Papi? You got it from the king himself. So shout out Devers. This whole situation, Trev, this is going to be a very bad analogy. This is just a sloppy high school relationship that ends poorly. Both sides absolutely hate the other right now, with Rafi Devers saying, yeah, I'll play anywhere. That's such a stab in the back at the end, trying to get the last laugh. So petty. But you know what? I kind of like it. It's more entertaining for the game of baseball when we have some kind of chippiness. And it leads up, Trev. They play against each other this weekend. So that is going to be extra fuel to the fire, if you will. So I can't wait to see Devers first at bat versus the Sox. Are they going to throw at him? Are they going to pitch him?
Stop. They're not going to throw at him.
Listen, there's been a lot of comments. I'm not saying they should do that. It would just be, jaw-dropping, eye-popping moment. The RBI double is really funny too, Trev. Goes right into triples alley. Devers is like, nah, I'm good. I'm just going to stay at second. I don't need to go triples alley. I'm all set with this.
They pay him to drive in runs. Let me tell you that right now. It would be really hilarious. And again, like I said, this is just a content machine. It would be hilarious if Big Papi makes the trek out there to San Francisco and is there behind the turtle for Giants BP. And then Barry comes out, for Red Sox BP. And then Barry comes out for Giants BP. And then they have a home run derby between each other. Who do you think would win right now between Barry and David? Because I mean,
Oh,
obviously Barry's a little bit older than Ortiz, but
doesn't matter. I think Barry Bonds. He still when he was working with the Marlins a few years ago, like he was still taking swings. He was still
I
reaching
got
the
Barry for
left-handed.
sure
Yeah, I
too.
don't
I
think it's
do.
close. And that's no disrespect to Big Poppy. Just Barry Bonds is an absolute unit. Like he is a freak of nature. The one other thing I wanted to say on this topic, Trev, with Bob Melvin made a really interesting comment because they have Matt Chapman on the IL too, and he kind of takes a shot at the Red Sox a little bit. He goes, with Devers potentially playing third base, he goes, I don't want to move him around too much. I don't think that's like a great idea. And obviously, that was a big drama with Boston where they wanted to move Devers from third to DH to first when Costas get out. So it's just ironic and funny that Melvin says that today, too.
Well, look, the one guy that's running the Red Sox is a pitcher, and the one guy that's running the Giants is a position player. That's all I got to say, people. That's all I got to say.
Wow. Of course, Trev. Of course.
I had one other thing I wanted to bring up, and now I've kind of forgot. Oh yeah, I have a quick Barry Bonds story. This one's
Ooh,
pretty
okay.
funny. I am at Brad Penny's house for Halloween, circa I don't even know when this
Real.
was, 2009 or something like that. I'm dressed as Kobe Bryant. My brother is dressed as Dog the Bounty Hunter, and we show up there and just having a great time. And he goes, "Oh my God, that's the best Barry Bonds costume I've ever seen." And he points at this guy. It was Barry Bonds. He wasn't wearing a costume. It was just him, but he looked so different because he wasn't like super big at the time. And my brother was like, that guy looks just like Barry Bonds. It's the best Barry Bonds concert I've ever seen. It was him. And we had a great time, by the way. Chuck Liddell was naked in the pool. Blast from the past. I could name the people that were at that party, and it's like just an old school group of people that you probably don't even think about anymore. But at the time, very cool to be there.
Very cool. That's awesome, Trev.
Let's move on to something that also I think it's going to make us, we're not happy about it at all. But we were joking with our producer, Dan, about the Yankees. The bats have gone cold, Dalt. 29 and a third innings of scoreless baseball for the Yanks. They've lost their first two to the Angels, obviously two shutouts by the Angels at home. They're in, they could be swept by the Angels. And all the while, the Tampa Bay Rays are coming. The Toronto Blue Jays are coming. Toronto ends up walking it off. Two solo shots in the ninth tonight for them. Bo Bichette off Shelby Miller. And then my guy Addison Barger also hits a homer to walk it off. So we're looking at the standings right there. 2.5 games back for the Rays. 3 games back for the Blue Jays. In your opinion, Dalt, the question is, who's a bigger threat to the Yankees in the AL East?
I think I'm going with the Birds. I think I'm going with the Blue Jays here. And I think one of the biggest components for picking the Blue Jays over the Rays, I mean, I love the Rays pitching factory. Don't get me wrong. They're doing it without Shane McClanahan. But that said, I think this Blue Jays lineup, when healthy, when right, is one of the best lineups in baseball. We've seen it without their big ticket free agent, Anthony Santander, being effective, being on the IL on a couple different stints so far this season. But they're still sixth in average. They're still ninth on base percentage. I feel like Vladdy hasn't even hit his power stride this season. He hits his 9th home run today on a solo shot versus Brandon Pfaadt. I think this Blue Jays lineup, you have Bo Bichette playing on a contract year, and you know what they say about playing on a contract year. Addison Barger has kind of come out of the blue and just excelled in Toronto so far this season. He's been one of the biggest surprises in baseball, in my opinion. And Alejandro Kirk, I don't know why. I feel like he's a guy at catcher that we kind of write off, but he's had a surprisingly great season too. And of course, your guy Tyler Heineman too,
Yeah.
as the backup catcher. Got to shout him out. I know, Trev. But this offense, I think it's really good with a consistent rotation of Barrios, Bassett, and Gausman as a really strong 3. Potentially, Scherzer coming back very soon off the IL. The bullpen's been so far steady. The Blue Jays can make a little bit of a run, especially if the Yankees continue this cold streak of 3 shutout games. I don't know. They can make it interesting, Trev. I'm going Blue Jays.
8-11 are the Yankees against the AL East. You guys are Yankees haters, dude. Our producer is the biggest Yankees super fan of all time. He's in our ear constantly. But I will pick a different team. I'm going the Rays here. I think they have, and I've been using this term a lot lately, and I don't love it. It sounds very, very like talking head. They have an identity. Okay. They throw the ball and they field the ball and they run the bases. That's what they do. Number 1 in stolen bases. They have the biggest weapon in the world sitting in AAA with them. But still, they run the bases well. They take the extra base. Jose Caballera, I believe, still hasn't gotten caught stealing. He's just a menace on the base pass. But the pitching is is their identity. Third in WHIP for starting pitchers, seventh in WHIP for the relievers. They get the job done. You mentioned McClanahan's not even there with them yet, but they've been healthy. They've been doing it there, and they've had a league average offense. Right now, 14th in OPS, 15th in OBP, but they're ninth in runs. So they've been scoring enough runs because their pitching has been so good. Look, if there's one way that you can beat the Yankees, it's silence a few of their bats. That's all you really have to do. Silence a few of their bats, maybe pitch around Judge. They can do that. If they do end up making a move for an offensive piece at the trade deadline, I think it improves their chances immensely, obviously. But I'll go with the Rays. I picked them. I think I had the Red Sox to win the division. I had the Rays in as a wild card, and I'm sticking to that. I think the Rays make the playoffs this year, and whether or not that shocks you, I'm not sure. I think it will shock a lot of people if they do. I just they have a recipe, man. That's what they do. So I'm on the Rays here.
And I like that too, Trev. I think McClanahan is going to be like we talk about getting pieces at the deadline. McClanahan's going to be an option, and coming off the IL potentially too is Ha-Seong Kim, who they signed to a 2-year.
Yeah, we haven't even seen him.
Have not even seen him yet, and we know the Rays have their chess pieces across the infield and outfield for what they can do, maneuvering some guys. But that's going to be another big move. So you're going to get a contributor on both on the offense and the rotation. I could see it now. With that being said, Yankees. Are you staying? They're out still? Because you said Red Sox, Rays. You're staying too.
Yeah. Originally, I had the Yankees and the Mets, I think, and the Tigers missing the playoffs. That's why we don't like to do preseason predictions. All those teams had question marks. They've all answered them. I don't know where I stand with all that. I mean, obviously, those are 3 of the top 4 records in baseball right now, so they're looking pretty good still. I'm probably gonna, eat my words on that one. But if I had to take a shot at who can take the throne from them in the AL East, I'm going Rays.
Okay. I like it,
And
Trevor.
speaking of the crown, how about Best Western? The show's brought to you by Best Western, or sponsored by Best Western Hotel and Resorts. Life's a trip, so why not make the most of it? With over 4,000 hotels worldwide, Best Western is there for every detour, destination, and unexpected turn along the way. We've been using Best Western a ton. Trip to Chicago. I believe Jolly just went to Omaha and stayed there. I even saw a news article talking about Best Western and just how great they've been for the people of this country and internationally. They're everywhere. So whether you're hitting the road, traveling for work, or chasing the next big game, there's a room waiting for you. But a great stay isn't just about rest. It's about what comes next, Dalt. A great stay doesn't help you just recharge. It sets the tone for the early wake up, the late night arrival, or the last minute change of plans. Best Western gets it. Traveling isn't one size fits all. It's for the planners and the procrastinators, the loyalty point collectors, and the I just booked it crowd. So whether you're traveling solo, with your friends, or with the entire roster, Best Western has you covered. Pack your bag, cue up the playlist, hit the road. That sounds awesome. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at bestwestern.com. Love me some Best Western, no doubt about that.
Right on, Best Western. Let's go.
We got some drama out there in Philadelphia, and I don't love this. I want my Phillies, my former team, to all be happy together. But Rob Thompson benched Nick Castellanos after some inappropriate comments said to him after he removed Nick Castellanos for a defensive replacement in Johan Rojas. We don't exactly know what was said, but it did end Nick Castellanos' game started streak at 236 games. It was the second longest active streak, only behind our guy, Your Daughter, Matt Olson. Yeah. Nick Castellanos not happy about it. There was even some free Castellanos chants in Miami when he was on the bench. Where do you sit on all this, Dalt? Are you part of the new generation that says players can do whatever they want, or are you old school and say, hey man, you got to show respect to your manager?
I'm a little bit of the old school. I mean, I know I might be a young head, not to call myself young or anything. But yeah, I think it really does depend on first what he said, which we don't know. But I still think there's a little bit of a respect of seniority, whether it's inside the lines or outside the lines of baseball, where it's like, hey, managers, like, he is your leader. He's your guy. He will defend you and your team across the media. But you know what? You have to show him some respect too. So I understand that the players are playing the game and they're playing hard and they want to do whatever. You might not like the decision that he made, but ultimately it's his call. His butt is the one on the line. So I'm okay with it. I am very curious to what Castellanos said to Rob Thompson, because it was directed at Rob Thompson. And I think it was interesting. Castellanos did say pregame regarding this situation, like he wasn't happy. I spoke my mind, crossed the line. So the punishment he said was, I'm not playing. It's his choice. He's the manager. So at the end, he kind of does understand, hey, you know what? I guess I did cross the line, whatever I said. But I think at the end of the day, he's your guy. He's your manager. You got to respect him. And Trev, I'd love to hear what you have to say on this because the former player, big league guy, what's the vibe from you?
He had to have said something for everyone to hear also. So I'm assuming it happened in the dugout during the game or possibly in the locker room after the game, but it had to be around people or else I don't think Rob Thompson would have taken these measures. You know, it probably would have been a closed door, hey, come talk to me, let's talk this out type thing. But to have to basically not show him up, but like to make a display of him, uh, it had to be in front of people. I'm assuming again, assuming we don't know,
Right.
and earmuffs. I'm assuming he said something like, "This is fucking bullshit," you know, something along those lines. He wants to play. Yeah, look, he's not a good defensive outfitter. That's he knows that. He's there to rake. He's there to hit homers and drive runners in. He's not there to play defense. That's not what the Phillies do in general. They don't play defense, dude. I mean, I love Trey Turner to death, but he doesn't play defense either. He's there to bang. Okay. So again, I think it must have been in front of people. I'm a you got to respect the manager type guy. You got to respect somebody. We can't just be a society that doesn't respect our elders, the people in leadership positions. Look, you can question them. There's like, and that's what America's founded on. Like, let's question our leadership. That's okay, but let's be respectful while we're doing it. And I think there's the caveat there. That's kind of the balance that you have to have is question, but let's do it respectfully. And, you know, players always say, hey, man, like come to me behind closed doors. Don't go to the media. Same thing applies here. Like, let's not blow somebody up in front of everybody. Again, assuming that's what happened. Rather go talk to him after the game, knock on his office door, walk in there and have a conversation. Then I don't think he ends up getting benched. I think there was a scene. Thompson made an example, and I think that'll be it. I don't think this will last. This is not going to be a Craig Breslow, Rafael Devers type situation. I
What?
don't think. Knowing Topper, knowing Castellanos, both they're baseball guys, man, and they're there to win. They understand the end goal is for the Phillies to win the World Series. That's what they're there for. So I don't think this will linger. But if I had to side, and again, we don't know exactly what was said. I still think you just got to respect the leaders, respect your elders, man. And I've been mad at my managers before, no doubt about it. But you just have to go about it the right way. Sometimes emotions are going to be there. That's fine. You have to pay the consequences for it. We live in a free speech world, but that doesn't mean you can just go say whatever you want without consequence,
Yeah,
especially in a setting like that where you have a boss.
right. I mean, if anarchy reigns in a baseball locker room, no leadership. Like
Oh,
I'm
now we're getting somewhere. Okay, tell us about anarchy, doll.
I mean, look at me. You know me. I like to raise the pain, baby. Rah! But I'm curious to see if this lingers a little bit. They did lose today, and I know they're playing the Marlins. It would be interesting, Trev, if they go on a little bit of a cold spell. Not to say this would start anything, but this is where tinfoil hats can be made if something builds off of this. So I don't know. Something to watch.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I'll say it's something to watch. I think it's nothing. I think it'll be over, but we can keep our eyes on it. We'll do that for you.
Agreed.
Another thing that we're keeping our eye on, Dalt, are your snakes. If there's two teams I think can change the entire landscape of Major League Baseball in 2025, and it's the Baltimore Orioles and it is the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, I don't Orioles 10 games under 500. Snakes are what now?
500 on the dot
100?
after the loss today.
A little bit different. Orioles, I think, are going to sell. They have some pieces. I think O'Hearn's gone. I think Mullins is gone. Possibly Led Zeppelin. Possibly Felix Bautista. We'll see. I think the talent that the Snakes have rivals that. Starting pitching, Josh Naylor, some bullpen guys. Gino as well. Like there's a lot of pieces there. Mike Hazen came out and said that he does not want to be a seller. He has not even ruled out buying. You're my Snakes guy. Where do you stand on them? What do you think's going to happen? What's the state of the union with our Snakes?
One call. Listen, Diamondback games are something out of that are not ordinary, man. It is an adventure every freaking night. We just saw it again tonight. Blue Jays tally 2 solo shots of Shub Miller, make Diamondbacks fall to 36 and 36. And I think you nailed it on the head. I think the Diamondbacks are not one of. I think they are the most intriguing team heading to this MLB trade deadline, because I think they are a team that we're waiting down the last day, potentially the last few hours about making a move. I think Mike Hazen has the right mindset. I think you get a job of power in baseball. You want to win. You're not playing to go 54%. Shout out Jerry DePito, former Diamondback front office member. And as Talking Jake says, they play for rings in the desert, out in the desert. Right now, they're playing to fight for their jobs and fighting for a playoff spot. And it hasn't been great right now for the Diamondbacks. They had high aspirations. I had them ranked third going into the year. They're fourth in their division, so that's not great. But yeah, I think they have lots of intriguing pieces if they were to sell. And I know you and Jake alluded to it on Talking Baseball, but Eugenio Suarez, Josh Naylor, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Shelby Miller, Jalen B, because these are 6 contributors to a potential playoff team if the D-backs go on the route to sell. Gino, having 20 home runs, ranks 5th in baseball. Merrill Kelly has been one of the most consistent starters in baseball over the last 3 years. Zach Gallen has had his struggles, is leading the league basically in a lot of control issues and walks. But there's a lot of promise. We've seen him be a top 5 Cy Young finisher in 22 and 23. I think this team, talent-wise, taking injuries included, I don't know if they're a playoff team now. Corbin Burns being out, Justin Martinez being out, AJ Puck being out. You're missing your ace and your 2 back-end people in the bullpen. A bullpen that has been horrid, Trev. And I know team people and common fans love to complain about the bullpen. Since the start of May, Diamondbacks bullpen, 5.72 ERA, 29th in baseball, negative 1.1 Fangraphs WAR, F WAR. Yes, I did use F WAR. It's not great when you're putting up negative WAR. It's not ideal. I want the Diamondbacks to buy. I want to be positive, but they have not proven they should. 23rd blown save this year, leads the league in baseball. I am worried about where they're at right now.
They would be absolutely foolish not to sell this year. And look, again, you want to appease a fan base that's come out to support you. Diamondbacks have a ton of support in that Phoenix area, and deservedly so. They put together a good team at the World Series in 2023. They're doing the right things, but they have a built-in excuse this year. Corbin Burns is out. Bullpen has been hurt. They have, and then you just look around the league right now. The National League is very good. I think it's all there. All these impending free agents. If you're really just looking at logically, and not maybe not with a sports fan's mind, where if you're a Diamondbacks fan, you're fuck that. I'm not trying to waste my 2025. Let's go make a run at this, boys. A logic mind would say, yes, this is the year. Let's capitalize on some of these guys. Let's get a return. Let's come back right in 2026 and try to right the ship. That's logically that has to apply here. And you have to, I say this, and I'm not sure this is actually what people think. I think you want your front office to act logically for 90% of the time. And then 10% of the time, sometimes just roll the dice and get a little crazy. This is not one of those times, though. I think this is one of those times where you start, understand you're wounded, lick your wounds, take it back, heal up a little bit, and come back next year. They can get a pretty penny for these guys, man. They have guys that'll bring back pieces, not only that'll help in their future, but I think they could probably get guys that are ready to help as soon as next year. So if I'm them, I understand. Yeah, hey, they could go on a 12-game run right here. Great. If they do, I understand where Hazen's coming from. If not, if they play 500 ball, if they play a couple games over 500 ball, and they're looking up at 5 or 6 teams in front of them in the standings for a wild card spot, I think you gotta just turn it on and start selling. And if you do it, just do it the whole way. Don't do it halfway either.
Agreed. I 100% agree, Trev. I do think this conversation does have to have what is it called? An apostrophe? And what's the star thing? Asterisk?
Asterisk. Yeah, nice.
Nailed it. I got there. Took a little bit to get there, but we got there. I think they need to have an asterisk only because it does depend on the play within the next few weeks,
sure.
Right? Because if, like you said, if they rip off a huge game, winning streak, they're back in the wild card hunt, potentially in a division hunt. Of course, you stack up and buy here if you think you have a team that can contend. Right now, I think we both can agree they are not a team that looks like they will contend for a World Series and maybe not even a deep playoff run. And with that being said, Eugenio Suarez, Josh Naylor, Zach Gallen, thank you for everything you've done, but it might be time to get a package if they're out of it come late July.
Again, we were recording this on Tuesday evening. I'm checking the scores to make sure we're not missing anything. Right now, the Mariners are throttling the Red Sox 8-0. Guardians a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the sixth against the Giants. Astros taking care of business. We do have a tie ball game in the Dodgers Padres. If you're fans of those teams, I'm sorry, man. We'll get to them. It's for scheduling. We had to do it right now. So if we miss something in these games, we apologize.
Trev, blame me. I'm an NL West guy, the Snakes. You can blame me. I'll put my
Yeah,
hand
we'll
up.
get
That's
some
no fun
stuff
for me.
out. Don't worry about it. We're gonna end this the show like we always do with something light. But before we get to that, Dalt, I got to tell you about something that I also use. Not only am I a Best Western guy, I'm a 5-Hour Energy guy. And today's episode is sponsored by 5-Hour Energy. Baseball season is here. Lots of games to watch each night. Grab a 5-Hour Energy to stay alert to watch all your favorite teams. Or if you stayed up late to see that intense doubleheader, take a 5-Hour Energy shot in the morning so you can start your day. Go to 5-Hour Energy's website to find over 15 flavors to choose from, with flavors like watermelon, tropical burst, cherry, peach mango, and more. There's a flavor for everyone. I think I do the berry one. They sent me a bunch of them. I've been ripping them before the gym. I'm jacked. It's not a big deal, people. I go one more. Shout out Nikki Cass. On the site, you even have the option to build your own 12 or 24 pack. You choose the flavors, and it's delivered right to your door. Right now, you have a chance to win $10,000 for your ultimate summer. Take your shot with 5-Hour Energy and make the summer your best one yet. Visit heshot.com for full details and rules and enter today. That's heshot.com. No purchase necessary. Ends June 30th, 2025. So get there for your chance to win $10,000 from 5-Hour Energy. Now, we are going to end this on a fun one like we try to do. All-Star Game's coming up. The voting has come out. Now, fans only get to vote for the position player starters. They don't get to really vote, I don't think, for the pitcher
No, I think
starters.
it's the coaches.
Because there's who's going to be starting around the All-Star game. That's one of the biggest hurdles in managing a game is who's available to pitch. So I guess my question to you is, there are some real favorites to start the All-Star game. You can start with Tarek Skubal for the AL. You can start with Paul Skeens in the NL. But if we're not going one of those two guys, who do you have leading the chase in the NL to start the All-Star game?
So outside of Paul Skeens, I think Zach Wheeler would be a really good choice. But I do
outside of Zach Wheeler too.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say a guy who is consistently top 3 Cy Young. It would be funny seeing him pitch down in Atlanta, though, starting to.
Oh, it's so true.
Yeah, so that'd be really fun. But I am going to go in a different route, and I am going to show a little bit of biased eyes, though he's not on my team anymore. Robbie Ray of the San Francisco Giants, man. He has kind of like completely bounced back after missing a lot of time with arm and elbow issues coming off of TJS, I believe, in 23 and 24. Dude's been unreal. 8-1, 2.56 ERA. 95 Ks, 84 and a third, 1-1 whip. Like, he has been a big part of why the Giants pitching magic has been going. Him and Webb have been a fantastic 1-2, one of the best duos in baseball right now, atop of a rotation. And he started the year, Trev, through 11 games. He was 7-0 with a 2.5. The ERA hasn't really even bounced up from that. He didn't lose a game for his first 11 starts. And I understand pitching wins, pitching losses doesn't mean everything. But you know what that means too? The Giants are winning games when he's on the mound. It's because he's been putting them in a great spot to win these games. Shout out Robbie Ray. They were 9-2 in that stretch. 10-1 in that stretch when he was 7-0 through 11 games. Robbie Ray, I commend you, coming off mid-30s, still balling out, former Cy Young winner, turns 34. Good for you, man. That's unreal.
He's been going deep into games too, which, that bullpen's been a big part of why the Giants are where they're at, but you can't overtax the bullpen. And
Right.
him and Logan Webb are two of the guys that get deepest into ball games. So I like that pick for you. For me, I'm going with a buddy of mine, and I know Dan Work is super stoked about this. I'm going Max Fried. There's a few things that I like to see in my ace. One of them is being a stopper. Now, before the Red Sox start, the Yankees got swept by the Red Sox. Dan, do you remember that? And then the Red Sox traded Devers, and that's been great for us in content. Before pitching against the Red Sox there, which he went 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs there. Before that, though, following a Yankees loss, in 8 starts, he was 8-0, had a .83 ERA. He was averaging 6.8 innings per start. That's a weird number to throw out there, but almost, I'll just say almost 7 innings per start. 48 Ks to 11 walks, a 158 opponent's batting average. Stopping losing streaks, having a guy that you can consistently count on to win is how you stack up series wins and avoid, prolonged losing streaks, and your record just starts to go. You stack those wins up because of it. Max Fried has been so big for the New York Yankees, and how awesome would it be for him to start the All-Star game in Atlanta as well? So I'm going Max Fried. I like both of those for us right there.
Yeah, very good. You know what? Last second change, audible. Zach Wheeler back in. Wheeler versus Fried.
Wheeler versus Fried?
Yeah, you're going to get lots of cheers for one and lots of boos for the other. That would be so funny.
That would be who's going to be cheered for?
Ooh, actually, that's a good point.
I don't know. Max left in free agency, so
get your deal. I mean, $200 million, Trev. Like, can you blame a guy?
I'm curious. We'll be there. We'll be
right
in Atlanta for the All-Star game. Can't wait for that. That's going to do it for us today. Appreciate everyone. What do we got here?
Oh,
no.
Hello. Is that Jeremiah Estrada? Ohtani?
End of the game here. If you're podcast only, Dan just put up a video. Things are getting chippy in the San Diego Padres LA Dodgers game. Ohtani just got hit. Dave Roberts is absolutely furious. This is the day after Dylan Cease hits Andy Pages. Manny Machado comes out and says, if we want to hit somebody, there's other dogs we can hit in that lineup. Now they hit Shohei. Bring that back, Dan.
Yeah.
What was the situation? I mean, that's just right in his leg. And Dave Roberts is going to go out there for Shohei. Oh, my goodness. I guess we got to get off this and let's go finish watching this game. And we'll bring it to you as soon as we can, maybe on Thursday's edition of Baseball Today. But I appreciate you, Dalt. You're the man. For Dalton Feely, for super producer Dan Rourke, and intern Sawyer, I am Trevor Plouffe. We will see you on Thursday for another edition of Baseball Today.